Example 1687, that we are in fact stuck in a cultural Ouroboros where we are not creating anything new. We are simply rebooting what has been done well in the past and doing an incredibly poor job at replicating it. I mean, I got 3 examples that are right here. And one, I'm starting off with The Naked Gun, that when I first heard about it, it's like, okay, Liam Neeson doing comedy, and it's like, it could work. And then, yeah, you got the unfortunate tagline that, oh yeah, it's going to be written by Josh Gad, who has never contributed anything of substance to Hollywood. And it's like, oh, okay, why does he continue to get work? Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And yeah, the trailers that have come out, I really didn't like the first one. I thought the way that it opened with that stupid bank heist gimmick, it's like, this doesn't, like the sweeping shots and the way that it's like, it's kind of like fantasy television, okay? Where you had you had a bunch of side-by-side comparisons where you had The Witcher, Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, and a couple of other shows. They're just all shot so blandly and blankly, and it's all lit the exact same way. That's the way that first trailer started out, and it's like, oh great, you had generic action slop that is just going to take every safe approach. And then, yeah, you got a couple of sight gags, and it's like, yeah, okay, he's got the costume being the little girl, and oh, he's going to be Leslie Nielsen's son. It's like, yeah, okay, that could work. And then people, they attach themselves to the O.J. Simpson gag at the end. It's like, that's one thing. Okay, they missed on the other, dozen quote-unquote jokes that were in the trailer, and this time around, I haven't even bothered with the trailer. All I've heard is just relatively negative things about it. So yeah, I thought that there was a potential for this to be good, and my overall cynicism attached to this project has more or less been borne out. After more than 30 years, the Naked Gun franchise is getting a fresh reboot. That's just such a weird way to go ahead and characterize this stuff. Yeah, a fresh reboot. What's fresh about any of this stuff? This time with Liam Neeson stepping in the comedic shoes of Frank Drebin Jr., the son of Leslie Nielsen's iconic bumbling cop. And the film officially titled The Naked Gun, because now we're doing that with sequels or reboots. Once again, we're just putting "the" at the front of it instead of doing 4 1/4 or something like that. Something fun. But no, we can't have fun. We need to have corporately approved fun, because that's great. It's scheduled for release in U.S. theaters on August 1st. Oof, it marks a return to slapstick, a spoof comedy at a time when the genre has been largely dormant. I mean, is it really slapstick, goofy comedy, or is it just going to be that safe, edgy? Since we got the trailer right here, might as well look at some of it, right? Okay, so it's 2 minutes. Okay, I can leave the volume on. Okay, yeah, okay. The car's moving, and you end up getting handed a cup of coffee. That's not bad. Okay, that's not bad. But I'm going, that's not bad. It's not a laugh. Okay, didn't threaten to give me a chuckle.
Once you kill a man for revenge, there's no going back. A voice in your head saying over and over.
See, just look at the way, okay, and his leg comes off, or arm, I guess, but you can clearly see it underneath the jacket, and you would think, especially the way that this is shot, like, it's just so blandly shot, like, there's no comedy lighting, like, nothing overexposed, it just looks like there's no artistry here. It's just everybody knows that, hey, we're in here for a reboot. It's it's gonna have its baked-in audience. We could just go ahead and milk it with that. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe I'm being too harsh. We're only 14 seconds in, right?
That was awesome.
Who are you?
Drebin. Detective Frank Drebin. Thanks.
Police squad has always been the elite of the elite.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr.
Okay,
Love
so
you.
running
Hey,
back
Dad.
that one
Boy, do
show.
I miss you.
And you, Frank, are the best of the best.
I need a bathroom. I need this one immediately.
There's a line, man.
Police business.
That's not bad. Yeah, you got Weird Al in the bathroom.
Oh, I'm gonna ruin another suit.
Over here, Lieutenant. I think someone murdered my brother.
Please, take a chair.
Thank you.
That's not bad.
I'll find them. This is what I do. Says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke.
Okay.
They're going to shut down police squad if you do not solve this case. Do this by the book.
Show a little respect!
Why? Who's gonna arrest me? Other cops?
Yes.
Okay, this is kind of painful. I'm not getting through this, okay? It's just moving right along. But yes, directed by Akiva Schaffer, of course. Pop Star. Oh my god. Oh, and Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Fucking Christ. Yeah, being produced by Seth MacFarlane. I could tell. With Schaefer co-writing. Yeah, so the screenplay alongside Dan Greger and Doug Mand. Together, they aim to revive the absurdist, pun-heavy style that made the original trilogy, yes, based on the 1982 TV series Police Squad, a cult favorite. I love... Well, I was just going to say Naked Gun, but no. Leslie Nielsen stuff, okay? Like, he's a legend. Everybody knows this, okay? I love the 80s and 90s comedies of an era gone by. I know a lot of people point to Tropic Thunder as the last great comedy, but okay, you might be able to point to that, and I've really got to rewatch that with fresh eyes. I only gave it one shot way back when it first released, and yeah, I didn't really get it off rip, so yeah, I gotta give it a fair shake next time around. But I've told this story before, so just simply the cliff notes. I could mark the point in time when comedy did in fact die, and that would be with the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I hated the way that it was going. The fact that it was like 2.5 hours long. That movie is way too fucking long. If you try to watch it right now, you forget just how much bloat is in that movie. And just the ironic, raunchy comedy. It's like, I don't shy away from that type of stuff. It's just, if that's going to be the backbone, it's really going to have a very short shelf life. And yeah, same with all of those Judd Apatow comedies. How many people fondly look back on the rest of the offerings? Okay, Knocked Up. I know everybody loves McLovin, but what about the rest of Superbad? Drawing dicks in notebooks, fantastic stuff. Good quality comedy. But This Is 40, like, nobody talks about that stuff anymore. And yeah, Judd Apatow just became a strict political activist. And I said at the beginning, and I guess I screwed this up, but I guess it's a good segue into the next thing. And just, just another example of how we have run out of fresh ideas. But no, don't worry, this is going to be fine, because you like the original Naked Gun, and Hollywood has such a sterling track record when it comes to doing reboots. Josh Gad is in fact working on Spaceballs 2, because this is what we want. And yeah, well, I gave the Naked Gun a benefit of the doubt by saying, Liam Neeson is like, he's shown comedy chops before. If you're going to be doing it, if you're going to be rebooting that series with anybody, he's probably a decent pick for that. And now a lot of people are giving Spaceballs 2 leeway because, hey, 99-year-old Mel Brooks is, signing off on it. Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement. Bill Pullman is going to be there. Oh, it's going to be great. The band is getting back together, bro. How many times have we seen this? Jurassic Park, Terminator, Star Wars, time and time again. They bring back all of the legacy characters, all of the legacy creators, and they shit on the history. I love Mel Brooks, but Spaceballs, for me, like, there's certain Mel Brooks fans that are out there, okay? If you know, you know, and if you don't, allow me to elucidate, where they kind of note the point in time where they really liked his stuff. They really liked Mel Brooks comedies, okay? Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles. And then when it got up to, I think, like either History of the World Part 1 or Spaceballs, okay? That's normally where they denote where they think that Mel started to fall off. For me, I've seen Spaceballs. I've seen the original Spaceballs. It didn't really work for me. I'm not going to say people don't like it. I'm not going to say it's, not a good comedy. I didn't like it. Okay, I've got a pretty discerning taste when it comes to this stuff. For me, like, if you were to ask me to line up any era of comedy, I would probably go with the 90s stuff. Mike Myers, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, that type of stuff. Eddie Murphy. That's my jam. The 80s stuff, I guess a close second, but a lot of that stuff, like, it falls through the cracks, okay? For as much as Blazing Saddles really falls off at about the 3/4 mark, especially when they, really start to break the fourth wall in the show, and the movie just kind of falls apart at the end, like, the rest of it, like, it's all classic. It's great. I know that eventually they're going to try to censor that movie, so I'm glad I got my DVD copy down there in my collection. But if shit like this works, yeah, of course, Robin Hood Men in Tights is going to get redone, and they'll try to make a woke version of Blazing Saddles. You fucking well bet they will. But yes, Rick Moranis returning for Spaceballs 2, sequel hyped by Mel Brooks, but still being written by Josh motherfucking Gad. A Field of Stars, the swell of the grand orchestral fanfare, and the inclined text reading. Yes, yeah, they did the old text crawl, the big blue text crawl that was there, and it was quite funny because, hey, take a look, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to poke fun of everything, all the sequels and all the requels, but hey, we never made true on that promise of Spaceballs 2, the search for more money, until now, because, well, Mel Brooks is still theoretically alive, and he said the thing, may the Schwartz be with you. And yeah, well, Mel is given the sign off. Is he going to be in the writer's room? I don't think so. It's going to be Josh Gad, and he doesn't have a funny bone in his very fat body. Could be wrong. I don't have hopes for this, okay? And even some stuff, right? Because we've talked about franchises from years gone by, or what were formerly not franchises, but instead a certain type of movie that yeah, we've definitely lost in previous decades, but was still running strong, I would say, all the way through the 90s. But you would have stars and their types of movies, like Schwarzenegger would have like Commando, Terminator, True Lies. Like there would be Schwarzenegger movies. There would also be Stallone movies where you'd have like Rocky and Rambo. And you could broadly term them as, action films and stuff like that, but they had their own distinct flavor and feel and all of that type of superfluous and flowery language to describe this. But yeah, Mel Brooks movies, they were very much not a franchise, but still, I guess, using today's vernacular, you could call it that. Leslie Nielsen stuff, you could group all of that together. And so running all of these old stories from a bygone era back now with the cultural turn of the tide kind of makes sense. And especially if they're going to have watered down versions, see how much they can quote unquote get away with, which they could get away with a whole lot more. It's just how much are they willing to push against the Hollywood orthodoxy. There's going to be another generation, okay, that early 2000s, a little bit of the hangover from the 90s where you still could get some good comedies out there, like Dodgeball came out, old school. I'm not even that big of a Will Ferrell guy, but I got to give him credit where credit is due on that one, even though I think Vince Vaughn's kind of like actually with Dodgeball, where he ends up doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But yeah, the 2000s did provide some generally good low budget comedy. And one of those films, which I might have to run back and remember, I think I got a copy of this, but Harold and Kumar. Remember Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle? That was one of those early stoner comedies that actually had more than weed jokes behind it. And yeah, it was a diverse cast, but it was done right because they didn't have to play up the exceptionalism of their race. They leaned into it. I'm pretty sure there were Asian and, Indian jokes that were in it. And I recall liking the first one. I didn't watch the second one. I didn't watch a very Harold and Kumar Christmas. Was that the third one? But apparently, Harold and Kumar are getting a new sequel as Cobra Kai creator inks a deal to write and direct. Okay. Josh Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Held? Sure. Funny, with all these creatives of these comedies, it seems to be a very similar theme developing here. But to be fair, that goes all the way back to the time of like Airplane with the Zucker brothers and all that. But anyways, we'll also produce the pictures, yes, with a Greg Shapiro. Harold and Kumar are going to get some burgers and buzz one more time. John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Held. Okay, why is that difficult to say? The creator behind the worldwide Netflix sensation Cobra Kai. It started out on YouTube Red. Have closed the deal to write a new installment of Harold and Kumar, the buddy stoner comedy movie series that was popular in the early 2000s. God, it just hit me. They're gonna totally remake American Pie. Oh, it's gonna suck. Hurwitz and Schlossberg will also direct the feature, which is being developed by Lionsgate-owned Mandate Pictures. I think the first ones were made by Lionsgate too. Oh no, New Line. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh God, it's got the mark of failure on it with Lionsgate. It's a full circle moment for the gentlemen as their Hollywood careers got high, thanks to writing the original movie 2004's Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and to making their directorial debut in 2008, Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. I might have seen that one, but I remember watching Go to White Castle a couple of different times because it was pretty funny. Okay, it was definitely a point in time where that type of comedy was on the wane, and then that ended up, yes, opening the door for your Judd Apatow types. And while, yeah, that style of comedy, I think, yeah, we definitely do need this, because when was the last time that you went to when was the last time that you seen a new movie that was a strict comedy like this? It's been, honestly, forever. Like, cannot remember the last time that what used to be a staple at the cinema, it's even darkened its door. Yes, I would love to see these types of movies. Your Spaceballs, your Naked Guns, your Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. But I don't want to see a fourth Austin Powers. I don't want to see Black Sheep or Tommy Boy 2. Fucking Happy Gilmore 2 comes out. Oh God, doesn't that come out next month? I don't. That is probably my all-time favorite comedy. That's probably the one that I've seen the most, right up there with Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. That's like 1 and 2 for me. I don't want Happy Gilmore 2. I know it's at best, like, Adam Sandler does seem to care enough to put a little bit of effort behind his comedies, and I do like more of his catalog than I hate. But fuck, man, leave sleeping dogs lie. Make something new, for Christ's sakes, because at this point in time, everything is a sequel, everything is a remake, everything is a prequel. Even for something as low budget as comedies, you can make the argument that yes, superhero fairs, your big blockbusters, your $200-300 million budget movies, okay, there's too much risk at stake. So yeah, you need to have an established IP. This is not an argument that holds any water with me, but at least looking at the corporate side of this, where they need to have a surefire hit and they have so much riding on this, okay, financially speaking, that yeah, it makes sense for them to do the sequel, prequel, remake, all of that type of stuff. But when you're making a comedy, when all you need is snappy writing, this right here simply shows that there is nothing new under the yellow sun, and that everybody creative in Hollywood has either been drummed out by underqualified degree holders, and that the industrialization of art is far more safe and far more reliable than taking a flyer or taking a chance on a lesser known creative. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.